In the dimension of physicality, we connect the connection of man in the dimension of physicality of the man with carbon 12. We go to cosmic rays and we connect it through the dimension of what we call carbon 14, connection of the direction of what we call crystal structure, clear transfer of energy on the back of hydrogen. As in many teachings we have explained, if we call it the creator has to be part of the structure which he is created out of. And then it becomes a bigger dimension. Dimension the man has not understood is like our universe is a cell in the kidney of a man. It's a whole of itself, operates on its own, has billions of sections and whatever. It has a universe and a unicos, but at the end is a part of an organ, part of a body of a man. And that man from outside is observed by the others. They don't see that cell of the kidney, but collection of the cells makes the man. And if man in the dimension of the physicality transmutes his dimension of emotion through carbon 12 in the vacuum body of the man, when the universe and unicos transmute itself through the dimension of carbon 14, again the source of essence of the creation, hydrogen, common denominator, what does the creator and how does the creator communicate in his own environment? And what beauty from that dimension comes that becomes a food, that becomes the energy of the unicos, that becomes the energy of the universe. And part of that universe that we live in. We eat an apple, and the energy of that apple reaches every cell which needs the energies of that apple. The question becomes, what are we part of? And what we call the man who the organs are part of him, without him there's no liver and kidney. Which part of the process of the creation are we in that structure? It's a living thing. Universes move, galaxies move, the suns and the earth and the planetary systems move. What are they feeding? What is the ultimate goal of all these essence of interaction of the fields of the universe? The unicos and the universe that man has not come to understand. What we call the prophets of the past have indicated there are different levels. Now man with the knowledge has opened some of the levels. The soul of the man, the soul of the solar system, the soul of the galaxy, the soul of the universe, the soul of the creator. What is that soul of the creator part of, which is created out of the interaction of its field? The other point which goes back from macro to micro is how do our cells within body of the man, within the kidney, within the heart of the man communicate with each other that allows them to find their positions, distance, and their composition. How does our body recognizes needs 3 layers of skin to protect from outside, balance between the two and protect the inside that nothing goes outside? How does one skin on the tip of a finger and one skin on top of the arm connected to each other that they know they're responsible for each other's work and they have to contain each other? How does the skin of the man communicate with the other organs to keep your heart and your kidney in the same position? Is carbon 12, is carbon 14 in a different strength part of it? Carbon 12 only works in a matter state. In the body of the man, there is no carbon 12. effect of the fields of carbon-14 behaving like carbon-12 in the dimension of the absorption and the rest creates dynamism in the body of the man. Then it comes, what do we need? What do we have? What do we need to understand about the totality of the creation? Does the cell of the body of the man works on carbon-10? Where the totality of the body of the man works in the dimension of the carbon-14 in a vacuum condition, and outside matter state is carbon-12. How do our scientists take a blood from the body of the man, and then when they test it, they give you that is magnesium, that is calcium, and everything else in a matter state outside the vacuum of body of the man? Whereas the knowledge of the man has missed the information. And where does the body of the man has come to not to understand the difference between the dimensions of the vacuum, inertia, and everything else in respect to the time, place, and position. In the body of the man, if you take a kidney has its own inertia according to the position and the centralized system of itself. Even the lymph of the man has its own inertia that it manifests in that vacuum. What happens inside the body of the man in totality and majority has nothing to do with what happens outside. You walk in the sun, you walk in the heat, you walk in the cold, you walk in the rain. Your limbs don't change characteristics, still operate because they're separate. They operate under their own structure. They have their own inertia. And for man of the science to be able to become the physicians of the space, man has to understand this creation of inertia according to the time, place, and the space in the body of the man, in the galaxy, on Earth, or anywhere else. Otherwise, you will never, ever manifest yourself to be observed, to confirm your existence. The biggest problem for the physicians of today, even coming to cancer, is that the doctors, our physicians and scientists have not understood the creation, the manipulation, the inertia which creates that condition that the cell of the body of the man come together. We call it the cell of cancer. If you change the inertia in a condition and a position, there is no cancer. With the new technologies which are getting developed and getting expanded into the world of the science, man will know how to get rid of cancers, which is the biggest nightmare of them. Even the knowledge seekers who've been working on this have not understood. And if we do, we become magicians. Do we need to do magic? Then the people understand the science is different. In the coming time, the scientists, those who investigate the depth of the knowledge of the created and the creation, have to observe, have to understand the interaction of the fields which changes the universal fields to manifestation of the position and time in respect to the fields of the creation and in respect to the inertia conformation of existence. Which means what inertia do you need to confirm the physicality does not matter if it is in the dimension of the plasma. Then the question sits for man on both ends. What inertia, what line of communication happens in the cell of the man, in the minute layers of the kidney of the man? What happens? What line of communication and interaction happens to the creator of the man? How does he communicate with his environment? Well, how does he get the knowledge and the confirmation of existence? Then you understand on both of the scale from created to the creation is all the same. What we pray to prays to another. What we live through lives through another. Man, to be successful, to transmute from the point of his own creation to his creator, man has to understand the line of communication. And then the position and strength of the inertia of the existence. We call it gravity. We call it miniature gravity inertia. But how does change the position? What does the gravity of the Earth in the dimension of the plasma of the solar system has led to the creation of the Earth? Can we replicate this gravity and all its facets and assets and failures to create another dimension? The same. Or does this position of the creation of the Earth with its inertia, which has led to the emotion of the man's creation of himself, can lead to the misconduct of the man, the dimension of the soul in another part of the universe? Isn't this why we are here to correct it? As we had enough of the misconduct of the souls which left the dimension of creation from this planet, as their own creation was based on the wrong strength fields of what we call inertia of the creation. Need of the man to kill, need of the man to destroy, need of the man because his boss did not supply. The planet does not supply enough to confirm, to feed the local inertia of the need of the body of the man. So man kills. When you do not have enough, you get it from somewhere, even by stealing. So man has become a thief of other lives. And because he does it and everybody else does it, has become a norm. We all do it because don't eat for 24 hours, don't eat for a few days, you die. So we all become thieves and we justify our theft that we want to survive. Because the inertial planetary system, the inertial body of the man system has not managed to create the condition to absorb what it needs from free fields of the universe. We are all murderers. In a way, we close our eyes because everybody else does it. We call it meat eaters, we call it vegetarians, we call it every other name, except accepting the truth that we kill to survive. And it's normal because we can justify it. What happened if the man changes the dimension of that 20%, then the wife does not need to go shopping. Man does not need to kill. Then it comes to another point, which in the long distance in education of the man will come clear. Does the creator does the same in the dimension of his own dominion and his own inertia to feed the structure of the universe and the unicosmos which is within him. Then it comes to understand when the man becomes a child of the universe in a very short time, do we understand this, that we do not need to create a dimension of inertia, manifestation of physicality in the dominions and the places, but it cannot create the totality of the need of the man. Then would this create a new dimension of existence for man? We went from carbon 10 to carbon 12 to carbon 14. Does our creator lives in the dimension of carbon 16? for his communication and extraction of the fields of his own universe. Does the unicus work on the 16 and the creator on 18? Or is it just packs of energies we have put numbers to? The bigger you are, the more you eat. In the next few years, man will colonize space in a way that he could never dream. As we start the colonization in the next 2 to 5 years, with the support of the nations, what would be the next? When we build these space cities, do we test the reality of the life in the space or what man likes to see to be in space? Do we become realistic? Would the science of space becomes the part of the life and living of the man? And then the question for many of you, now that you have learned about the dimension of the soul, that you have learned you can travel without the dimension of physicality, is how do I teach the soul of physicality within me to become obedient to the law of the creation and accept that it can live with different dominion of the inertia that does not need to lead to manifestation. Go back and look at something many of you do on a daily basis. You call it electricity. We call it production of energy. What happens when the knowledge of a man extends to the point that he understands he doesn't need the rotating magnet and the iron for him or a copper for him to create electricity or energy? We don't see rotating magnets in the dimension of matter state, and we see so many lightning and thunder. When will man learn this knowledge? And then if you can do this, what does it absorb? What does it bring? Then it comes to a simple thing. How come the Keshe Foundation systems can do it, but we can't? And they become a magician, and we are not. Isn't the truth? And the fact is that we take the dimension of inertia of physicality away from the soul of the man. It allows this man himself to become the representative of his own creation and dimension of his created dominion. The whole structure of the creation is like a line and a blip. Depends what that line is and what the blip is. The line of creation is a hydrogen, single structure-based energy. And the blips can be carbon 16, carbon 14, carbon 12, carbon 10, anything you want to call it, carbonated, the way you like it, you would name to it, but in fact has no dimension. It has a string field dimension that at a given point its structure manifests itself according to its inertia. And then how to create an inertia? Then you can create anything in any dimension. Then you become the magician of the universe, because now you can create what you like, what you think you like, what you think others don't know, and if I show it, I'll be smarter. But then man has to come to understand the totality. Then man has to come to understand the dimension of physicality and the dimension of the fields of the universe, and learn how to live in both dimensions, or through the interaction of the two lives in the dimension of the emotion of the existence.